everyone. I am your host, Diane Esri from the Whole Way Coaching, and I would love to welcome you to the Leading Ladies Speaker Series, where we talk shop with women who are leading and influencing out in the world about their journey of leadership, wisdom gained, and their thoughts around up-leveling their career or reimagining it in their pursuit of purpose, passion, and fulfillment in life. My guest tonight is Michelle Sullivan. Michelle is a master certified health and life coach, a practitioner in transformational coaching method, a writer, author, and speaker, and owner of the Clarity Journey, where she helps her clients with self-love, with living authentically, with childhood trauma and grief support, life balance, healthy boundaries, and healthy habits. Michelle, welcome. I am so happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Diane. I'm really excited to be a part of this series.
Yeah, me too. Michelle, you and I met in mastery coaching training. I guess it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
It was definitely before COVID, out in sunny San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And then we worked together for 6 months in coaching mastermind, which was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far we have come, my friend.
I know it. We have. We're still here.
That's right. We're still here. And, you know, as a friend and as an amazing colleague that I have been in connection with all this time, I have always been so inspired and fascinated and, quite frankly, humbled by your personal story. And so I'd love to start off this this series with, if you could tell everyone a bit about your journey that you've been on so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm 57 years old, so I would need a while if I was going to tell you every single thing. But the condensed version is that I married when I was 20 years old, was a stay-at-home mom, had 2 daughters, raised them, empty nest, and then at age about 50, trying to figure out who in the heck I was. So I've been on this journey of reinventing myself. And yeah, it's been really interesting, because when the youngest one went to college was when I really realized, oh, wow, you know, who am I? You know,
Right.
What do I want to do with myself?
Right.
So that's when I decided, it actually started with me working out and getting healthy, because I had neglected myself. I had not taken very good care of myself. So I began on the outside, working on the outside. Little did I know, I thought that was going to be the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
But I worked outside in. And it's
Yes.
when it was the time that I took when I decided to become a health coach, and then transition into a life coach, and then even transition into my childhood trauma of being sexually abused at age 4, that I really realized that there was the inner work was really where I was needing to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think there are any mistakes. There's no one right way to get to growth and healing and transformation in your life. It just happened. This was the way that it happened for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. And, you know, that, like I said, that has been one of the things that I have been so, inspired by your story. And I just love how you have kind of taken, as we all do, taken a lifetime worth of accumulated experiences and come up with our own individual pathway, if you will.
Right.
So I would love if you could share a little bit about, how you came to address the history of abuse that you experienced. Like, when did that start becoming something that you consciously wanted to work on? Because at age 4, you were quite young.
Right.
And what were some of the steps that you took in dealing with that?
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking that question, Diane. So I think for me, there was a period of time where I really thought that if I could just stay busy, and honestly, I just swept it under the carpet and ignored it. And that childhood sexual abuse at age 4 continued to change my path at age 10 and 12, and then going into my teenage years and my adult years. So I knew something was wrong, but I didn't really realize what kind of imprint it had left on my life. And it really, honestly, wasn't until just 2 years ago that I began. It was like I knew it was time to address this particular, it was my longest held trauma.
Yeah.
And I will say something. I am a transformational life coach, and I do believe that coaches need coaches, because without them, we cannot see our blind spots. And this was a huge blind spot for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that it was time, and I was willing to be honest and pull back the carpet,
Mm-hmm.
look at the dirt, and be willing to begin to heal what was just so deeply hidden inside of me. But I needed someone to help me, someone to guide me. And that's where my coach that I have been working with, she is the one that really helped me and gave me tools to know what to do. And this is the interesting thing as well, is that your people cannot do the work for you. You have to do the work yourself. And so whatever teaching, whatever instruction that I get from anyone that I'm working with, as far as a coach is concerned, it's up to me to do the work, to roll up my sleeves, so to speak. And so I was just ready. It was time.
Yeah. Do you think that at some point along the way that you kind of got close to facing it head on, but still kept kind of turning away from it? Or do you think you just really kept it fully under the carpet?
Oh, I kept it fully under the carpet. And the way that it showed up with me was with anxiety and depression.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it took a toll on me. It really did.
Yeah.
And so again, it took some sleuthing. It took some just breaking down, and not breaking down in an emotional way, but just breaking down the barriers, so to speak. And again, I'm so grateful every journey, every go into Health Coach Institute and the education I got there, the education with the other coaches that I've experienced since I've graduated from HCI. All of those things came together to help me to be where I am today, healing and moving forward. And
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about that, because I know that I'm not the only woman that
Right.
experiences these types of things and feels stuck, but just does not know where to go.
Right.
So I feel passionate about sharing this with anyone that will listen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such an important story to share. It's a powerful story to share. I think more women need to hear it and keep hearing these types of stories. What do you think was the most surprising discovery, if you will, on this journey of, really doing that work?
So I will say this: trauma has a way of holding you prisoner and
Mhm.
using shame and fear to keep you silent.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very interesting statistic. 9.2 million women have been sexually abused before age 20. And those are the numbers that are just being reported.
And that's over what period of time? Is that like since they started measuring this?
Since they started measuring it. And I will say for me, mine was not reported because it was in the late 1960s going into the 1970s.
Right.
So there was a period of time where it was not talked about and there was no advocacy like there is today. But it's basically 1 in 10. So if you think about you and 9 other people that you're around, 1 in 10 experiences some type of sexual abuse before age 20.
Yeah.
It is an epidemic. And I find that just being open and sharing with other people, that I have people, men and women, that will say to me, I experienced the same thing.
Now, to clarify, that's 1 in 10 who have experienced some sort of abuse or sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse.
Those numbers that is an epidemic.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so, yeah, in the past, when I would talk with people who had experienced it, I would be angry right along with them. So there was a little bit of trauma bonding going on,
Yeah.
But I think that trauma bonding doesn't necessarily help you move ahead to a healthy place. Because then you commiserate together.
Yeah.
But when you can say, okay, you know what? I'm willing and ready to do the work. So that, because it really did hold me back, Diane. I was codependent. I was a people pleaser. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't love myself. And I gave so much of myself through my adult years, even as a mom, over volunteering, overextending myself, that I depleted me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the value in me as Michelle.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way back.
And that's what I was going to ask you is, if you hadn't done this work, what could you foresee being your situation now? Obviously things would be quite different, I think.
They definitely would be quite different. I believe that because I love myself now, and not in a haughty way, but I love and appreciate myself. I take better care of myself. I listen to myself and what I need and when I need to stop. I have learned how to use cognitive behavioral thought, the model of, circumstance, thoughts, feelings, action, and outcome to be able to work through my thoughts. I didn't have any of these tools before.
Right.
So,
did you do any therapy? Okay.
None.
Yeah.
None. I didn't. And I think I tried in my 40s to do that. But, seeing a therapist is a little bit like going on a blind date. You have to find the right fit.
Yeah.
And I tried 2 people and it didn't work. And so I think I just thought, it's just something I'm going to have to live with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are different ways to heal.
Absolutely. If there's, I want folks to definitely understand that whatever works for each individual is all that really matters. So if you're coming to it from psychotherapy, from a spiritual counselor, from a coach, someone in your circle who is, but seeking some professional support is really key, I think.
I agree. And I will say the professional support that I did receive was working with my physician. So I'm not embarrassed to say that I am on antidepressant medication, and I have been for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And so I tried this spring. I thought, that I had done the work and I thought that I could do it. And so with speaking and working with my doctor, we came up with a plan and slowly weaned myself off of it. And by month 3, I went back into her office and I said, I can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm going to need to get back on. And so that's okay too.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
there's so much brain research that we're doing now, and that we know about, and as it relates to psychosocial situations, traumas, the whole range of mental health, that it is partly wiring, partly environment, and partly genetics. And
Yeah.
so yeah. So I'm right there with you. I take medication for obsessive compulsive disorder. I've been very open about that in my in my spaces, and I also tried to come off of that, and with disastrous results. And I finally just kind of well, quite quickly, actually, I came to the realization that I'll probably need to be on this for the rest of my life. And this was back at a time when we didn't have all of that neuroscience around, brain chemistry and so forth.
Yeah.
And felt like, well, I'll just be on it for the rest of my life. Hopefully the medication will always be available to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and cognitive behavioral therapy I never came up that way, which is very specific for OCD. I when I say came up, when I was participating in therapy with a professional, it was talk therapy, and solution based on talk therapy. So not always what works in every different situation, and individuals really can benefit from having that conversation about the best path forward, like I said, regardless of who that professional is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that is quite a journey, my friend.
It is. And I'm so proud of myself.
I
I
am too.
really am. And I'm proud of you, because we are showing, we're proving to ourselves that we are smart, we're capable, and we want to make a difference in the world, and we're
Absolutely.
doing that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Which kind of, dovetails quite nicely into the next area that I want to talk about, which is tell folks what your passion is. What are you passionate about? What really lights you up? I
Yeah,
sense that it's partly sharing this story
it
and
is.
making sure women hear this, but I'll let you carry on.
Yeah. So I think I really love life coaching,
Mhm.
and life coaches, we don't tell people what to do. It's a lot of asking questions and listening.
Yeah.
And I believe that the answers to anyone's solution or where they want to move forward lies inside of them. And I get to just gently kind of fluff up or coax out
Mhm.
the answer for my clients. Now, it is interesting because as I have done this work in childhood sexual abuse, I am finding that some of my clients have experienced the very same thing. So I'm able to have empathy for them because I can relate to it as well. And the one of the things that I'm really enjoying a lot, and I'm actually doing more shops on this, is inner child work. And
Mhm.
so it's all about connecting with your inner child. And that is something that I offer and work with my clients, but also going out into the community and speaking and doing inner child workshops. And it's not digging deep into trauma. It's more about, hey, do you know you're little? How long has it been since you've connected, and giving yourself permission to play
Yeah.
and because we grow up so fast and then we think that we can't embrace that childlike side of us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
And
so
that's a really great point too, if I may,
yeah,
because I think a lot of people who have experienced some very difficult things in the past are really afraid to go there, and they definitely need to be in a safe space,
yeah,
um, to be heard, But there is the other piece of just being a kid again, just
Yeah.
playing, even if that really wasn't as much the reality as perhaps it should have been for someone. Just because childhood is past doesn't mean that you can't play and have fun.
Most definitely. And I do believe that now. And some of the ways that I've begun to embrace that is I bought a bicycle during COVID. And so I live in the mountains of Western North Carolina, and I've had so much fun riding my bike in the different parks and in the woods in the city. I also bought a pair of roller skates this year, as a matter of fact. And so now I roller skate, and
All
I did
right.
that as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And my inner child will say, when are we going to get out of this gray chair? I want to go play. And so I listen to her,
Yeah.
and we do go play. I listen to her voice now instead of just trying to keep her quiet.
Yeah.
I want to hear from her.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So tell me what is I'm sure you've had this, you have this kind of thought often, as I know that I do. What kind of legacy do you see yourself leaving, that you want to leave?
Yeah, I think the first people that I hope will grab a hold of my legacy are my two daughters.
Mhm.
They're adult women now. The legacy that I want to leave behind is that you can be brave, and regardless of what difficulty that you have in front of you, that there is a solution, and or you can learn from it. And also just to live life to the fullest. You know, you don't have to let your circumstances ruin your life, you know, and that takes working on your thoughts and your feelings, you know.
Mhm.
I know with clients that I've already worked with that they've said to me, I'm so grateful that we worked together, because I don't know where I would be if we
Mhm.
had not had this time together.
Wow.
And that, for me to know that I cheered them on the sidelines and maybe helped them, support them over a difficult time in their life, and they're moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, that is the best. That is the best. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And your daughters are how old now?
30 and 25.
Okay, so they are out there moving and shaking in the world.
They are.
And that is another direction that I want to go while we're talking, is, what do you think that the future holds for women as leaders and as influencers in 2022 and beyond?
I think that women as leaders, entrepreneurs moving forward, I believe that the generations now have a lot more courage to speak up.
Mm.
And I think especially where women couldn't even vote or get a credit card,
Right.
we definitely, there have been paths that have been forged. And my hope for the women moving forward is that they break down those barriers, that
Mm.
they go after whatever it is that they want, and don't let anyone stop them from going for what they want, whether it's career wise, the way you want to live your life. As you know, it infuriates me to think about the
Yeah.
ways that women have been hemmed in and prevented from doing something. We are intelligent, we are capable, and we can rule the world.
Here, here.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just say, go, do
that's
it.
right. Yep. Go girl.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, and I think that especially women, women are we're still seeing some statistics that are concerning. You know, there's the gender inequality, the pay gap, the you know, getting a seat at the table, being in the boardroom, women, like you said, women business owners, women starting nonprofits, being in these really impactful leadership positions, whether it's big or small, whether it's, you know, I like to say global, because it could be on a global level, it could just be on a local level, it could be just within your own household. But, you know, women are ideally situated to bring what they've learned in, you know, a strategic, maybe masculine kind of energy, and combine that feminine nurturing energy and compassion and really change things in the world.
Absolutely.
My personal,
Yeah, I agree. And I think another thing that is really important is women coming together instead of fighting against each other. We need to
yes,
encourage each other to rise instead of fighting each other to climb on top of each other, you
right,
know, and that could be some of the feminine mindset, you know, of
yeah,
comparison and that type of thing. But I've seen this phrase about, you know, make sure when you're straightening your crown, you know, straighten your sister's crown as
right,
well.
right,
Right. Let's all
absolutely,
encourage each other to rise together.
yeah, 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 and oh, that's so beautiful. There's so
Yeah,
many things that I would
because
love to.
you could look at that and say, oh, that's not me. I'm never going to do that. Oh, I can't do what Diane does, you know,
Right,
or
right.
who does Michelle think she is talking to people about so and so, you know, and just know that that is your reptilian brain. That is
Mhm.
your mind that is trying to keep you safe and
Right,
keep you in a little box, you
right,
know?
right, right. Yeah, and that really is something that we have learned for, many of us have learned for a long time, is, you know, that comparison and that competitiveness, and especially when you get into those, maybe in, you know, in the business world, where you see a lot of that dog eat dog. Um, among women even. So yeah, that's not how we're going to advance, for, you know, forward for every woman in the world.
Right,
There needs to be a new paradigm shift for that.
right.
And I'm hoping that, you know, this speaker series will be, you know, will help contribute to that.
I believe it will, Diane.
Yes. Michelle, I wanted to ask you, what are two or three, what I like to call pearls of wisdom that you would like to leave with our audience?
Hmm. I think the first pearl of wisdom that I want to leave with you, the audience, is don't be afraid to make mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to move forward. The other pearl of wisdom I think I would leave with you is it's okay to ask for help.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to figure things out on your own, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Beautiful.
what would my third one be? I
I
think
think
my third pearl would be to dream big,
dream
but
big.
make it something that just makes your heart soar, not
Hmm.
that will put a certain dollar amount in your bank account, but something that you wake up in the morning and you think, I'm so excited that I get to do this career or live this life every day.
Yeah.
And because life is a gift and we're not guaranteed how long we're going to have it. And so we have a choice how we want to live each day. And yeah, some days I have to wake up and remind myself it's going to be a good day.
That's right.
Yeah. But I think those would be the 3 pearls that I would.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Another thing that I like to do with my guests is a little bit of what I call personal trivia. Because you know me, I have that sort of that playful side,
Yes,
and
you do.
maybe it's slightly mischievous. So I would love to have you share with folks something about yourself that they may not know, that folks may not know about you or might surprise them.
Okay. So one of the things that you probably, well, obviously none of you probably know me. So, but I love to sing. And when I was a little girl, I would use a hairbrush and I would stand in front of the mirror and I would sing. And I remember one time I was listening to Girls, Girls, Girls by Elvis Presley. And so I had to be about 5, 6 years old. And I was rolling across my bed, and I would come back around and roll across my bed singing, and I hit my chin on the wall where it comes to a point. I had to get 3 stitches in my chin.
So you still have a scar there?
I do. I still have the scar there.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
The funny thing about that is we had just moved to Detroit, Michigan. And we were going, I don't know, Diane, if you ever had participated in this, but we were going to come as you are party. And it was in the morning. And so you had to come in your pajamas to the party. So it was a women's party. So
I haven't ever been to one. We've got that at a couple brunch locations in my area, and I haven't had the nerve to go out.
I know. Yeah, so I ended up having to go to the hospital and get stitches in my chin in my pajamas and then go to the Come As You Are party.
There was no missing that party.
No, there was not.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. And I know you, I've seen some of your lives and videos of you dancing for the camera alone in your room, and am just amazed by that.
I love to dance. I think that's part of the Puerto Rican in me,
Yeah.
so I do love to dance. I mean, they make fun of me at the gym where I work out because it's a group workout. And to me, it's just like one big playroom,
Right.
And I always will tell the trainer, make the music good, and I'm singing and I'm dancing and I'm supposed to be doing burpees and I'm just
and you're making the faces too.
Oh yeah, I make the faces. It's a Puerto Rican thing.
Oh my gosh, this was so much fun talking to you. I wanted you to let folks know how they can get a hold of you. And I know that you've got a bunch of different ways. Oh, and we needed to talk about one more thing. I mentioned that you are a writer and speaker, and you have just been published in a book called You're Not Crazy, You're Powerful.
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about that. I know that that can be found out on probably on Amazon.
Yeah, it can. So I co-collaborated with 12 other authors and my coach, Allison Roberts, and we all wrote a chapter in the book, You're Not Crazy, You're Powerful. And my particular chapter that I wrote is entitled, It Wasn't My Fault. So I did write about my childhood sexual abuse at age 4. This is my first foray into writing, but I do have another one on my own that I'm working on right now. So I am very excited about that. But the book is available. You can find it on Kindle, or you can also you can purchase it off of Amazon, and it is called You're Not Crazy, You're Powerful, and it will be available beginning October 19th. And so yeah, I'm really excited about that. And also I'm going to be speaking at a conference called Behind the Power in October as well, getting to take the stage and share a little bit about my story along with the co-authors, and some really great coaching and learning so that I can further myself. So Yeah. And so as far as getting a hold of me, there's a few ways that you can do it. I think the easiest one would be to go to my Linktree account. And so it's Linktree at Life Coach Michelle. That would be the easiest one. And I have
Okay.
all of the links they're there in my Linktree account.
Linktree at
Life Coach Michelle.
Michelle.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. And also on that, I have, there's a couple of free guided meditations that are on there. I also, is linked to my website. And also, I have a page on that Linktree account. It's books and educational materials for parents who might like to educate their children on safety, on how to educate them in a age appropriate way against childhood sexual abuse. So I'm really,
Excellent.
really, I may be all over the place, but I have a purpose.
And no, you're just busy. You're busy out there. That's awesome. That's great. And reaching as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
That is a wonderful legacy.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of the Leading Ladies Speaker Series. I will see you next time. Take care.